Hi everyone, it's Sunny. It's finally time. Haikyuu Battle of the Garbage Dump. I believe in the English translation it's supposed to be the dumpster battle. The movie was released in February in Japan, and these few months I've struggled. I've struggled with the fact that this movie is in existence, yet so out of my reach. Started thinking things like, if I haven't seen it, does it even actually exist? Haikyuu making me question existence itself. But today is the day. I'm super lucky that I'll be able to watch it in theaters. I'm really excited, so let's go! Hello, I'm back from watching the Haikyuu movie and I really loved it. For reference, I watched the anime and read the manga for this arc. When the movie came out in February, I also got excited and rewatched and reread the whole series. But I did skip this particular arc because I wanted it to feel fresh when I watched the movie in theaters. Firstly, the animation was great. I really loved the cinematic perspective and action shots of the flashback, the volleyball match, and the characters. The transitions between the flashback and the match were super smooth and interesting. The more important and intense moments of this arc were all animated in very memorable ways. I'd say that the animation and art style were quite similar to season 4, just a step above to movie level, of course. But I would say that there were some scenes where the art style for the match looked a bit more simple. For example, when the whole team is running up together to do a synchronized move where everyone is moving at the same time. But this doesn't really happen in the big moments. They're kind of like filler scenes, so I don't really mind it. It wasn't bad at all and wasn't too noticeable, but personally I only noticed it because the other bigger scenes just have so much more detail. Sound direction. This was probably the thing that really made the movie for me. The emotional saving the world with volleyball soundtrack, the sound effects like the footsteps and squeaking shoes, and the impact of those moments with just no sound at all. Seriously, the music in the beginning of the movie almost made me tear up. Like, I know what's going to happen and we just started, okay. For me, character-wise, the standouts in this movie are 1. Kenma, with his silly cat side, in contrast with his very observant and calculating side that makes him such an amazing antagonist. 2 is Hinata, who rises up to the occasion again and again throughout the story and is the literal sun. 3, Kuro, with his passion for volleyball, his great leadership qualities, and his ability to reach out to and understand other people and bring people together. I really love the childhood flashback scenes and the relationship between Kuro and Kenma, where Kuro is able to understand Kenma but also introduce him to new things and bring him out of his shell. Whereas Kenma is smart and quite accepting, someone whom Kuro can share his passions with and motivate him. And speaking of Kuro, there was like a kid version of him and like an adolescent version of him that were both younger in the movie, and they had like slightly different voices. One had the kid voice while the other just had his high school voice that was like a slightly higher tone. For a second it threw me off, and honestly it's not that noticeable, but I noticed. I know my voice. And the last character that I really wanted to put a spotlight on is Coach Nekomata. Actually, I forgot about some of his appearances in this arc, and he didn't have that many scenes, but the ones that he did have really had an impact and made me love him. I also enjoyed the reactions of the side characters in this match and the interactions of the two teams, which was really fun. I love Bokuto and Akashi, and literally every second that Suga was on the screen. Also, unbiased opinion here, but Kageyama looked really good throughout the whole movie. Like, there was no silly Kageyama here, only cool Kageyama. I wanted to talk a bit about some of the manga scenes that were adapted into the movie as well. So if you haven't read the manga, there may be some spoilers ahead. There were a lot of amazing moments that were adapted super well in the movie. These include the birdcage, Hinata's super jump, the knife battle, Kuro and Bokuto's little hair swap, the captain hug, the old coach's handshakes, girl dad Bokuto. If I had to choose, my top 3 favorite scenes from the film are number 1, Kenma's Stay Interesting scene. This actually moved mountains and split the seas. Number 2, Kenma's That Was Fun scene. Wow, this actually made me really emotional. Like, I knew it was coming, but it was still so moving. And number 3, Kenma, Kuro, and Hinata's first meeting. We actually got to see the scene with a bit of added context, which was really cool. There were also some parts of the manga that were cut out from the movie. This include little comedic extras like the conversation with Kuro and Lev or Kenma's mom and dad's face reveal. But I think the biggest one that I personally would have liked to see was young Coach Nekomata and young Coach Ukai's meeting. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it's been animated yet, and it was in the beginning of this arc. I think that including this meeting would have made this match, particularly the Nekoma versus Karasuno rivalry between the old coaches, more impactful. Of course, the focus of this match is on the current Nekoma and Karasuno teams, so I can understand why they cut the scene out, but I do really like their backstory, and the added context just gives it that extra little bit of weight. And also, look at young Coach Nekomata. I really love this movie. Haikyuu is one of my favorite works, and it's very meaningful to me because I read and watched it when I was these characters' ages, and I followed them on their journey and read the final arc as well during the same age, and it really feels like I went through a period of my life with them. They're fictional characters, but they're not, okay? I'm so happy that I got the chance to see them on the big screen. Overall, if I had to give this film a rating, I'd say it's an 8.5 out of 10 for me. The arc was adapted super well with amazing animation, great perspective shots, and phenomenal sound design. The pacing for this arc was spread out pretty well in the limited time frame for the movie, although I think objectively speaking, the movie was pretty fast-paced. It cut out some scenes that could have added some extra context to the Nekoma-Karasuno rivalry. Because this is one of the main and pivotal arcs that Haikyuu was overall building up towards, it loses a bit of that additional weight with those deleted scenes. But I still think that the studio did a really good job focusing on the current teams and characters and giving us a quick versus longer flashback for the appropriate characters in the right moments. Even if you have never watched Haikyuu and you know nothing about volleyball, you can still find this film enjoyable. Haikyuu is a series that I think really appeals to a wide audience. There is also an important end credit scene, so stick around to the end if you're planning to watch the film. The films for the final arc were also announced a while back. I'm worried. My life is in your hands. I kind of wish that the studio can just do the capitalist thing. There's demand for Haikyuu, okay? I am the demand. Anyways, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below. For those of you who have watched the film, what did you think of the adaptation? And for those of you who haven't, what are you looking forward to? As always, thank you so much for watching and hope to see you next time. Bye!